Yes, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are doing a top 10. Today's top 10 is my top 10 water rides. It's not just log flumes, rapids, it's just everything. I won't go on water dart rides, well there's none in the list, I believe. Let me just check. No, there is not. So that's all good. Some of them may be unpopular. I'm not a biggest fan. Water rides I love, but I'm not a biggest fan on the stuff that's just designed to soak you. Like, I like a bit of a themed experience, something a bit different. And obviously, I will point out now that I haven't ridden the likes of Chapas or Valhalla. I'm sure they'd be insane. Like, they'd be up here, top of my list by a mile. But yeah, these are my top 10 water rides, all in the UK, because I don't really remember any at Disneyland Paris, and the ones there aren't great, not gonna lie. So yes, kicking off at number 10, we have Depth Charge at Thorpe Park. This opened, geez, ages back when it just after it opened, I believe. I haven't got any facts on it, sorry. And yeah, it's just a simple boat. It's like the bumpy slide ride, but it's got the water. It's got water as well, and it just works well. You get a splash at the bottom. It's fun. I did it with we had like 8 people in my family, so we had 2 races once. Oh, I haven't got 8 people. It was just a group of 2 families. And we just had a race. It was a lot of fun. It's simple and it works. Obviously, there's hundreds of these out there, but it's just the only one I've ridden. So yeah, number 10 we have Depth Charge at Thorpe Park. In at number 9 we have quite an unknown one. We have Log Flume at Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. This is it's not in house, but it's a custom. Like, it was built for the space. It's now, I think it is a model now. I'd done it twice in my life. Once when I was about 2, and I did it a couple of years back. And both rides, I don't remember the first, but I'm sure I remember it being really good both times. It's not a soaker. It doesn't drench you, but I always visit in October, so I don't often go on it. But there was one year it was very hot, so we went on. And I got to be honest, it's a great ride. It's not themed or anything. It's just a metal structure. I think they could have done a bit more with the lake, but it does the job. It's just a good log flume. 3 drops. One starts off the small one, then a medium, then a large. Oh no, there's 3 drops. I'm just sorry for being stupid, But the smallest one wets you the most, surprisingly. And anyway, in at number 9 we have log flume at Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. In at number 8 we have Squid Surfer at Legoland Windsor. As I said, it's just water rides here. It's based on water, mainly because that's my childhood water ride right there. Every time I went Legoland, you'd always ride it. One of my favourite rides there. Quite unique. You don't get many of them out there. Obviously, I preferred it before it got rethemed. I think the new Squid Surfer retheme is okay. But next year, I guess it's going to be completely overhauled with the new Lego movie area. With the proposals to open next year. So that looks good. Hopefully it still opens on time. It's just it's the fact, I think if you don't get anybody pressing the buttons, it's a bit dull. When you get the buttons, you get the swinging left to right, left to right. It's just a lot of fun, especially if I've been the first and like if you're holding on in the back or like getting thrown around in the front. It's just a laugh. So number 8 we have Squid Surfer at Legoland Windsor. In at number 7, it's gone down the list a bit. Congo River Rapids at Alton Towers. Yeah, I think if you'd have done me this in 2015, I would have said number 3, number 4. Now, not so much. I think without the waterfalls and without as mad as it used to be insane. It was like you got soaked on it, drenched. But obviously now the waterfalls have gone. It's just a bog standard rapids. It's been like Rumba Rapids that isn't on this list. Honourable mention there. On Rumba Rapids, when I did it for the first time in 2015, was insane. But I did it last year and the year before, and both the times I did it 3 times in those 2 visits, and both rides, all of them rides, were pretty boring. It's just you don't get wet on it at all anymore. But back onto Congo River Rapids, it's got great theming. It's got a nice location. It has a nice layout, especially with the interaction with the Runaway Mine train as you go through the tunnel. That's the only reason it's on number 7. It's just not as good as it used to be, sadly. In at number 6, probably the most controversial place on the list, I have Zambezi Water Splash at West Midlands Safari Park. Now, if you don't know, this is the standard 2-drop log flume that's found many places. It's not custom, it's the standard layout. You go up 180 degrees down a steep drop, 180 degrees up a taller lift hill, 180 degrees double down into the splash, basically, and back into the station. It's a very simple layout, very small, compact. This one does have a few flamingos, like a fake crane. It's got a bit of theming on it, so it's good. It is good. I've ridden a couple of these now, and it's my favourite by a mile. I look not because of the theming, but I think the 2 drops are insane. Like, and you don't get soaked. But it's a good splash. Like, you're a bit wet on the top and down here, but like it's just a laugh. I did it about 6 times when I went last year, about 6 times the year before. It's a great ride. I love it. One of my favourite rides at West Midlands, and definitely a firm favourite. In at number 6 is Zambezi Water Splash at West Midlands Safari Park. In at number 5 is Pirate Falls at Legoland. Obviously, it was rethemed really well, in my opinion, a few years back into is it Dynamite Drench? It changed its name to for a short time, I think. That was a good version. Then they backed down the water a bit, obviously after the accidents and all that across the world. And now it's not. I think it would have been number 3, looking at my list, a couple of years back before this, when it was in Dynamite Drench. Because obviously, I think it got changed to that with all the added theming. Then they rethemed it and took away quite a few of the water elements. It's a simple 1-drop special, but it's got loads of good theming, Lego theming around the ride. I personally have a firm place in my heart for the crocodile. It's like a fake track in a way. You're going up to it and then you switch left instead of going straight to the crocodile. I used to love that when I was tiny, like 3 or 4. Yeah, it's a great log flume, good theming. I love the lake scene just before the end drop on the right with like the big lake. Also, the when you come down, obviously there's the storyline when you're up in the top section, like the house up the top. And then you drop down to this fun-filled, wet everywhere. It's just great. That end bit and portion of the ride. Very bad English there. So yes, at number 5 we have Pirate Falls at Legoland Windsor. In at number 4 we have Tidal Wave at Thorpe Park. Now, I did say I'm not a big fan of just getting drenched on a ride, but that's basically what this is. I think I love the main thing for this ride is the theming. It's insane. Like the fact, like with water rides, you don't get as much theming normally because obviously it all gets destroyed over time. This app is all out there. It's a ruined theme. Like, it's a tidal wave coming and taking over Amity. Love it. But yeah, it's quite fast. I remember I've been on it just once in 2018. I went in that really hot summer. It was like, I think it was 38 degrees that day or something stupid. And we were like, yeah, let's go on. And I got to be honest, I was still hot when I came off. But yeah, it's a stunning ride. Off-ride, on-ride, any aspect. It's a bit short, but it does the job. You don't want to be on there much after the drop, actually. So yeah, number 4, very simply, Tidal Wave at Thorpe Park. Number 3 is Storm Surge at Thorpe Park. Thorpe Park's water ride lineup is great, in my opinion. It's just a standard ride, but it's fun. It's unique to the UK, I believe. I'm pretty sure it is. But it's just something different. It's fun. It's like if Rumba Rapids was good. I know it sounds stupid, but I think I went, especially when I went back in summer of 2018, and all the water effects were on. You had the water, because obviously they have like hoses. You don't always notice them when they're not on. There's hoses on the structure that shoot out, and you get drenched. It's almost, as I would say, it's one of the wettest. It's the second wettest ride at Thorpe. I'd say there's nothing. It's not as wet as Tidal Wave, but you still get drenched on it when all the water effects are on. But yeah, on the normal day, it's decent, nothing special. That's why it's only at number 3. So number 3 we have Storm Surge at Thorpe Park. Number 2 is the newly rethemed for 2018 Tiger Rock, previously Dragon Falls. I loved Dragon Falls before, but I do agree the new version is a bit better. I still wish they'd themed the cave better. That it doesn't look good, just the brown grey structure. But yeah, I look at it and I just think it's the drop. It off ride is beautiful with all the tigers and the theming. But on ride, it's not a different at all, apart from that little indoor cave scene where you go and you see the special effect and you go through the head. About it. I've seen the tiger once when riding it, and that was back a couple of weeks after it opened when I first went. I visited I think it was 2 weeks after opening, and it's a good ride. I saw the tigers. It's a lovely area. Great move for the park, in my opinion. So yes, at number 2 we have Tiger Rock at Chessington World of Adventures Resort. Now, before I do my number 1, I want to give some honourable mentions. I think I couldn't include them on the list because they don't really work. But obviously the Flume at Alton Towers, obviously shut in 2015. Great ride. Splash Canyon, that's currently SBNO after the accident. I'd say the best rapids left in the UK. When it closed, it was up there. Congo River Rapids. It was insane. I think if it reopened, obviously there'd be loads of changes, and it'd probably be right down at the bottom of the list here. Also, Ramesses Revenge. You guys say, oh, I'm stupid, it's a flat ride, so it's top spin. You got drenched. It was my first ever inverted ride, so it has a special place in my heart. But you got drenched. Your face would be dripping if you sat in the middle, especially if you sat on the back row, which I never unfortunately did. Because I expected it to go soon, and I just thought, back row, can't be bothered. Because I never went there. I went there once when it was hot, and that was the first time I went on it. And yeah, that was back in 2017. So yes, number 1 on my list. It's not. It doesn't get as much credit as it deserves. Stormforce 10 at Drayton Manor. 3 drops. Insane theming. Soaker. Three sentences to sum it up. First drop out. You have obviously the theming. Oh wow. Obviously, I can't comment on Valhalla because I've never done it. I've seen it in person, but I've never done it. You enter the queue line. You're going to like a fishing shack. You have the animatronic fisherman. You go up the steps into this lighthouse, all made like it's a perfect replica of a lighthouse, full scale and everything. And you climb up that into this massive rock station. It's like made of brick. It's not a cheap station. It's proper. Then you get on the ride. You're praying not to sit on the back row. You're like this to the ride ups, because you sit on back road, you get wetter than tidal wave, in my opinion. I did it last year with my dad, and we got a picture and there's a caption to it. It's not on my Instagram. Maybe I'll upload it one day. It says the wettest a human being has ever been. We were dying, and it was hot. It was like 25 degrees. We were freezing after it. It was insane. But anyway, there's a pre-show when you get on the ride. Well, there used to be. It doesn't often work now. With like, if there was an RNLI man, he would tell, because obviously it's sponsored by RNLI. The ride raises money for it. And you go down this first drop into water. You get soaked, and it's only about a 15-foot drop, I'd say. Then you go through with a splash zone onto the path on the right. Then you have these walls of water that you go through, which get you a bit of a splash, but it's more off-road effect. It just makes the ride look cool. Then a few years back, when they closed it down, I think it was 2017, they closed it completely for a retheme. Not a retheme, like they got rid of all the bushes, put some more theming in around the troughs. Then you go around and you go into the much hated backwards drop. You sit on the back row here, you go underwater. Literally, you look round on the backwards drop. You look at your right shoulder if you're on the right, or left shoulder on the left. You see the water come over your shoulder into your lap. That's how horrible it is. Front row, you don't get that wet. I would say, if on wetness level, I'd say 4 row, the back row, then the lap 1 from back row, then the front row, then the middle row, the second row. So I believe it's 4 rows. It goes wettest to driest is 4, 3, 1, 2. You want a dry road, go 2, because you get a bit of the back. You don't get as much from the back, but you don't get as much from the front on the first drop. Surprisingly, you go back round, you go into the double down third drop. You barely get wet at all. It's just a light splash in comparison to the rest. But honestly, favourite water ride by a mile. I love it. So yes, at number 1 we have Stormforce 10. Thanks for joining me for this video. If you're still around, I'll be impressed. So I'll see you around in the next video. It's an unboxing video tomorrow, so I hope you enjoy.